Hey everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. We've got episode 188 for you today, and Jenny, you know how I get when sports meets serious tech, right? Like a kid at a candy store? But the candy is data and AI.
Oh, I'm well aware, Mark. I've seen the gleam in your eye. And today we're talking about The Masters and IBM, which seems like a fitting combination given your particular brand of tech enthusiasm. It's almost like they built this partnership just for you.
It does feel a bit like that, doesn't it? IBM and The Masters. They have this interesting 30-year partnership. Think about that. 3 decades of integrating technology into one of the most traditional, some might say almost sacred, sporting events out there. It must have started small, just getting scores out quickly. But now, we're talking serious AI.
30 years is a significant run for any partnership, let alone one in constantly evolving tech. What do you think that long-term commitment from IBM to the Masters really signifies about the role technology is playing in sports these days? Is it solely about improving the broadcast, or is something more foundational happening?
That's the core question, isn't it? It's really moved well beyond just showing leaderboard updates faster. For 2025, they've truly leaned into watsonx, which is IBM's AI platform. For me, the main highlight is something called Whole Insights 2.0.
Whole Insights 2.0. Sounds official. Important. What exactly does that involve? Are we talking about predicting if a player is going to, hit it into Rainey's Creek? Giving me a heads up so I can wince in advance?
Well, not quite predicting those specific unfortunate moments, but it does analyze player performance on each and every hole. And here's what's interesting. It uses something they call Granite LLM. That's IBM's large language model, but it's specifically trained for this kind of structured sports analysis. It's not just a general chatty AI.
Okay, Granite LLM. Like a focused, golf-specific LLM. So they built an AI just for understanding golf at Augusta National? How much data goes into training something like that to be that specialized?
This is where the scale comes in. They've trained it on over 180,000 shots from the Masters. Just think about that. Every drive, every approach shot, every single putt from basically the past 9 years of tournaments. That is a significant data set to draw insights from. It's not a small sample size.
Wow. Over 180,000 shots. So it's learning from all that historical data to provide real-time or near real-time insights during the tournament itself? Like how a specific pin placement on the famously difficult 12th hole might play based on things like current wind conditions and how similar historical shots performed.
Essentially, yes. It combines those deep historical patterns with what's happening right now, the real-time data, to give fans, and I'm sure the broadcasters, a much deeper, more nuanced understanding of the challenges each hole presents. It can even tell you things like how the bogey rate on a certain hole has changed throughout the day as conditions shift. It just brings a new depth to watching.
That is quite interesting. It's almost like having an AI caddy giving you the inside track as you watch. Beyond the whole insights, what else is new with the tech for 2025 that stood out to you?
Okay, get ready. This part is next level. They've significantly enhanced the app experience, and specifically for Apple Vision Pro users.
Apple Vision Pro? The headset? So, I could potentially be sitting on my couch, wearing a headset and watching the Masters?
Oh, it goes well beyond just traditional viewing. They're talking multi-stream viewing. So you could potentially watch, one group on one part of your virtual screen and another group or hole on another. But the really striking part is what they call volumetric course visualization.
Volumetric course visualization. So a 3D model you can interact with, like virtually walking the course from your living room, or even feeling like you're standing on a tee box?
Precisely. It's taking that immersive experience to a significantly different level. Imagine seeing the elevation changes, the subtle contours of the greens, in a realistic 3D space. It feels like a preview into how we might be watching sports, perhaps many sports, in the not-too-distant future.
That sounds quite compelling for the fans who have access to Vision Pro. But that does bring up a point. How accessible is this technology for the average fan? Is this primarily for a small segment of early adopters, or are they also enhancing the experience for everyone using a standard phone or tablet app?
That's a completely fair point to raise. Vision Pro is still a relatively new and, let's face it, expensive piece of technology. However, the Huddle Insights and the underlying AI-driven data analysis are integrated into the standard Masters app as well. which is available on a much wider range of devices. So while the fully immersive experience is geared towards Vision Pro users, the core AI-driven insights and information benefits a broader audience.
It's good to know it's not exclusively for the early adopters with the latest gear. And all of this is built on that 9 years of detailed data you mentioned. That seems like it provides a notable competitive advantage in sports analytics, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Having that deep, consistent well of historical performance data across so many shots, combined with the real-time capturing of around 20,000 shots per tournament session, it gives them a very powerful analytical system. Jonathan Adishek from IBM spoke about how this combination of people, the golf experts providing their invaluable insights, and the watsonx AI demonstrates how businesses, in other sectors too, can unlock operational data.
So he views this not just as a sports enhancement, but as a model for how AI can function and provide value in other industries as well, like, say, optimizing logistics for shipping or predicting consumer behavior in retail?
Exactly. He sees this Masters deployment as a form of reference architecture, if you will, for other sectors dealing with large, complex data sets and where real-time or near real-time decision-making is important. Think about optimizing complex supply chains or predicting inventory needs in a large retail operation. They're different data sets, but the analytical problems share similarities.
That certainly makes sense. Taking the lessons learned from analyzing golf swings and applying those analytical principles to other business challenges. It's a savvy way to demonstrate the capabilities and power of watsonx.
And it really highlights IBM's approach, using AI to enhance human expertise and understanding, as opposed to aiming to replace it entirely. The golf experts' knowledge and input are clearly a crucial part of how that Granite LLM is trained, and how the insights are curated.
And that distinction feels particularly important, doesn't it? Especially when we begin to consider the ethical implications of using so much detailed data and such powerful AI in something like professional sports. How do they approach potential issues like data privacy for the players, or ensuring the AI isn't inadvertently introducing bias in its analysis or insights?
That is a critical and important area to discuss, for sure. And honestly, the publicly available materials I've seen don't go into extensive detail on the specifics of their privacy protocols or how they actively work to mitigate bias in this particular deployment. Standard industry practices, of course, would involve things like anonymization of data where possible, and ensuring compliance with relevant data regulations. But it is definitely something we need more transparency on as AI becomes more and more integrated into aspects of our lives, including sports.
Agreed. It's a powerful tool, and having a clear understanding of how the data is managed and handled is essential. So looking beyond this year's Masters, what does this ongoing IBM and Masters partnership suggest about the future landscape of sports viewing and, perhaps even more broadly, fan engagement? Is immersive technology like Vision Pro likely to become a more common way people consume sports?
I certainly think so. This feels like a strong indicator that immersive technologies and experiences are going to play an increasingly larger role. Many fans, myself included, are looking for more than just a flat-screen experience. Adding layers of detailed data visualization, offering multi-angle views, and creating interactive 3D environments just makes the overall experience much richer, more personal, and more engaging.
It does sound really quite engaging, and for an event like the Masters, which has such a strong sense of tradition and history, it's interesting to see how they are actively embracing advanced technology while still managing to maintain that classic, almost timeless feel. It's an interesting blend of the old and the new.
Right. I think IBM understands that the technology needs to genuinely enhance the experience without overpowering or overshadowing the sport itself. It should feel seamless, maybe even almost invisible in the main broadcast, but available and powerful in the hands of the fan who wants to dive deeper and understand more.
Well, it certainly sounds like IBM and the Masters are actively pushing the boundaries of what is possible with sports technology. It makes me curious to see what they will innovate and come up with next, and importantly, how these kinds of advancements might eventually find their way into other sports beyond golf as well.
Me too. Analyzing over 180,000 golf shots is likely just the beginning. The potential for AI in comprehensive sports data analysis and elevating fan engagement feels quite large. It's going to be fascinating to watch how it all unfolds.
Definitely. Thanks for breaking that down for us, Mark. It's always an insightful conversation with you.
My pleasure, Jenny. And thanks to all of you out there for tuning in to episode 188. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.